I've probably been an ambassador for about 7, 8 years, and I've been involved in Sleep Out for about that amount of time. Tonight there'll be 1,000 people sleeping out in Greenwich to raise 750,000, and you know, more than ever, it's such a serious issue. It's practically doubled in the last six years how many homeless people are in London. So something we all need to face and not ignore.
I think so, and I think it's about treating people as human beings, not statistics. You know, every single person that's on the street's got their own story, haven't they?
Absolutely, and I think it's being very aware in the community of people that are homeless, and you know, where I live, I've got to know, you know, a young boy that I see every day, and you know, and not making these people invisible. You know, they've all got their own story, and they've, you know, it's tough. He's been on the streets for over a year, and I can't believe that, you know, you see the demise and you see how quickly their health suffers and their mental health, and you know, it's just heartbreaking. So I mean, it's unbelievable in this day and age that people are homeless, sleeping. Like, you go down Tottenham Court Road and there's rows and rows of tents.
I know.
And in Shaftesbury Avenue, there's sleeping bags underneath, you know, any shop, and people just finding anywhere to live. It could be, you know, behind a wall in the canal, and they're very vulnerable.
Very vulnerable, and it's that thing, what we don't want to happen is for that to be normal. You don't want that to be normalised. Now, you, as I said, you've been ambassador for Centrepoint for a long, long time. I'm a supporter too. I think they do an amazing job. Princess Diana was a huge supporter, and in fact, she encouraged both her sons to follow in her footsteps, and also to sleep out too. Very under the radar, you know, they didn't sort of publicise that very much.
No, I think it's really important as a parent to kind of, you know, pass the message on to your children. And I did Sleep Out last year with my son, Raf, and a group of his friends, and they all raised money. And I thought, you know, it's very important as young people who are kind of ambitious and trying to get on to be aware that there's, you know, a lot of people who are less fortunate and suffering. I encourage my kids to be involved with, you know, Centrepoint or Help Refugees or Teenage Cancer Trust. They're all charities that support vulnerable young people.
Which is fantastic that you do that, because obviously people think, oh, you've got this sort of very glamorous party lifestyle. And it's not really like that at all, is it?
No, I'm just like, you know, I've got 4 kids. I've always worked, you know, I have a very strong work ethic. I came from a family that I didn't have a privileged upbringing. Sure. I kind of worked really hard to get the things I have, and I kind of encourage people, you know, across the board, and I kind of mentor a lot of young people, and I think, you know, I was given an opportunity when I kind of got a scholarship to go to a good school, and that helped me kind of change my kind of destiny. So I'm always trying to help other people have the opportunity to change theirs.
No, exactly. It's all about giving something back, isn't it? And it's exactly what we were talking about now. Yeah. And your kids, I mean, how are they all doing? They're all doing fine? Because I know little Iris, who I couldn't believe is what, 17?
No, she's just turned 18.
18? Yeah. Goodness me.
So I've got 3 boys, and Iris, and 16, 18, 22 and 28. Unbelievable that I've got they're all bigger than me, they're all more grown up than me, and they're great, and we have a wonderful family.
There was a wee interview that Iris did from Today for the Evening Standard, and you must have an amazing relationship, because she talks about you and she just says, you weren't rock and roll parents when she was growing up, you were just parents. But she also says you had your kids by the time you were 30, and she wants to do the same. So clearly, there's a real admiration there. She kind of looks up to you, and you've got that relationship, which sometimes is quite hard between mother and daughter?
I mean, I think it's a harder relationship than the mother and son, and you have to work really hard at that, and there's lots of buttons being pressed. I mean, my mum had me when she was 16, and there was 5 girls, and my mum kind of showed us how to have an open door and have a really lovely family, and that's the most important thing, and that's what I've done in my home, and my kids, they all love little children. We've got my niece living with us, and Iris loves babies, and you know, obviously I'm saying, you know, you go on and kind of pave the way for your life, but you know, family is the most important thing.
Oh no, absolutely is. It absolutely is, and that's why it's so tragic that so many people that we see on the streets have become, in some, from whatever circumstance, everybody's different, everybody's got their own story, but they sometimes become fractured, and it's trying to sort of rebuild them, and that's why tonight is so important, and all of the work that you do all year round.
And, you know, big kind of thank you to Centrepoint for doing what they do, and, you know, it's a wonderful charity, and it's great there's good ambassadors and everyone supporting tonight, like everyone who's coming along. You know, 1,000 people were sleeping out, and we're sleeping out, and we've got warm clothes and all that kind of thing, and we're being fed.
And you know, it's only for one night.
And it's for one night.
Exactly.
And I know some people kind of say, you know, well, it's only for one night, but it's great to raise awareness, and that's what we're doing.